My name is Eugene Willemsen. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for PepsiCo's operations across Africa, Middle East and South Asia. About 27 years with the company. Started my career originally in the Netherlands with a different company, dairy company. But then after 5 years moved to PepsiCo and have stayed ever since in various roles, primarily general management positions. Across 7 different countries, so I've been moving around quite a bit with my family. And landed now my dream job, which is heading up this amazing division with lots of possibilities and opportunities to not only drive growth but also leave a very positive impact in the countries where we operate. As PepsiCo, and it's probably something that not many people are familiar with, we have actually a huge footprint within agriculture globally. So we work with about 100,000 farmers across the world. In the AMESA sector, we work with over 35,000 farmers, close to 30,000 in India alone. And over the last couple of years, we have been working with all those farmers to introduce some of the best practices to reduce water usage, improve crop yields. And that is resulting, I think, in some very positive impact that we're having in those countries where we operate. Now, when you look at the specific results, we've significantly reduced our water usage over the last 7 years. And as I said, through the introduction of best agricultural practices, we have improved farmer yields significantly. So I was a couple of years ago in West Bengal, and I met with a group of farmers there in the Kolkata region. They shared with me some of the impact that the partnership with PepsiCo has had on them, their families, but also the income that they generated and how it has helped them to get their kids through college and get university degrees. So I think there is a much wider impact than sometimes even I realize that we're having as we operate across our markets, specifically with farming communities, and how that ultimately is having a very positive impact on livelihoods in those communities. And that is, I think, a great accomplishment that we can be very proud of. As we all know, COP27 is the COP for Africa. And in order to address the fundamental challenge that the world is facing, which is climate change, we believe that all the stakeholders need to come together to help improve specifically at the agricultural value chain. And why is that important? Over the last few years, we've seen a 34% reduction in agricultural output in Africa alone. Now, in order to ensure that we can feed the African population, but also to ensure that we really start making progress on addressing the climate challenge, we need to come together and we need to work to reduce our water consumption, reduce our energy consumption, introduce best agricultural practices. That is what we're committed to, and we're counting on other players also to come together with us across the value chain to make that a reality. So let me give you a couple of very specific examples that tie back to our PEP Positive strategy. So on water, we've been able to save about 5 billion liters of water over the last couple of years by introducing best agricultural practices, saving water within our facilities, and also by deploying the technologies that we actually use with other people in the value chain. That has enabled us to become net water positive in Jordan, in India, and most recently in Riyadh. So this is something that we take tremendous pride in, but of course we also know that we need to continue that journey and roll it out across more markets. On packaging, we've been working hard with many stakeholders across the entire value chain to enable a circular economy for packaging by putting in place the right regulatory framework that enables recycled material to be used for packaging of food and beverage products, by setting up proper collection systems, for instance in Egypt, where we've introduced a reverse credit system for people to collect packaging material that ultimately can be recycled, but also by setting up recycling systems that ultimately provide the supply of recycled packaging material for us to use in the packaging material for our products. Then on energy, we've invested in renewable energy in many of our sites. Think about solar panels, and we continue to expand the amount of renewable energy that we're using across multiple countries. In order to accelerate that journey, we need to also ensure that there's the right regulatory framework across a variety of markets, specifically on the African continent through purchase power agreements that enable the use of renewable energy sources. And that's something that we're also working hard on with, together with, well, governments and other stakeholders. From a leadership standpoint, or as a human being, what has worked for me well is continuously learn how to adapt to different circumstances, and I really make that a point. I also, in that sense, like to work together with people from different backgrounds, and having lived now in 7 countries and traveled to almost 100 countries, yeah, I think that really has helped me to adapt to any kind of circumstances. Yeah, and then I think it's also important that you bring a sense of humor to work and to life. So, of course, we need to take anything that we do professionally very seriously, but we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. And then in everything that we do, of course, we need to make sure that we really act with integrity, and that ultimately whatever we do really stands up to the highest values and norms. And that's also something that has guided me over the last, well, 30 years of my professional life.